But hopefully the next couple of hours we can provide a bit of diversion for you at home. The Running Rebels of UNLV ought to set a new school record tonight if they could accomplish that with a victory. Their 17th straight win on the road, Mario. But for some reason over the last few years, they've had problems with the Anteaters away from home.
Well, they sure have. They're only a 500 team against the Anteaters on the road, so it makes it difficult when they play Bill Mulligan's team. And Mulligan's the only Big West coach who's won 6 games throughout the 80s against UNLV.
Anytime you talk about UNLV, you start on the baseline with Larry Johnson and Stacy Augman. An underestimated pair, though, in the backcourt, Greg Anthony and Anderson Hunt.
Well, one of the best guard tandems in the country. Anthony really has the ability to penetrate, lead the nation in assists, and Hunt, a great perimeter player from the outside. But they've got some depth questions at the guard position.
I'm glad you brought that up because so often over the last few weeks, somebody have said, is this the best team possibly in college basketball history? Well, if you get that backcourt in foul trouble, you'd find out in a big hurry.
Very true. Waldman plays behind Anthony, and he's only a freshman. And Bice behind Hunt is a streaky shooter from the outside, particularly tonight. Anthony has a sore ankle. That'll be something to keep an eye on throughout the early stages of the ball game.
Anteaters of UC Irvine have dropped 2 of their last 3, but they are winners of 4 of 6 right here at the Bren Center. To be successful tonight, their leading scorer, leading rebounder, has to get off early. The man in the middle, Ricky Butler.
Well, he's one of the more underrated basketball players you're going to find in the West. A big guy, big wide body inside, good post-up moves, and you see the numbers. He can do it. He had 27 points against Adam Keefe from Stanford earlier this year.
The UNLV Running Rebels love to put up the three-pointers. Well, so do the Anteaters of UC Irvine. They have taken almost 200 more than their opponents over the first 17 games of the season. Jeff Herdman, in particular, really likes to put it up, and he's hitting for a far better percentage this year than last season.
He really has his stroke back from three-point country, likes it from the baseline and from the top of the key, but he may be Irvine's best all-around player. He can crash the boards, and he'll need a huge game here tonight.
Maybe the key matchup going into the contest. Jeff Herdman, of course, they need to get him going from the outside. Butler inside as well as outside their center, but the backcourt combination, Dylan Rigdon in particular.
Well, Dylan Rigdon is a young player, has been inconsistent, had 31 points against Fresno, and then only takes 5 shots against Long Beach State. That's the inconsistency of a young player. He must have a good game here tonight.
Definite advantage down to the baseline for the Running Rebels. The key matchup, it could come in the backcourt for the Anteaters. We'll be right back to Irvine with the starting lineup.
Better. I tell you why. 3 low pies and everything I like it just $59, $79, $99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme. $59, $79, $99. Run for the bullet of the winner sister. $59, $79, $99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59, $79, $99.
A hint of music, an open heart, the scent of mesquite. Unforgettable moments. It doesn't take a special occasion to make an occasion special. The Steakhouse, quietly nestled in the heart of Circus Circus.
I'm Chad Weldon at Weldon's Pride Dodge, where we're slashing prices during our 3rd anniversary sale. 91 Dakota. Only Dodge gives you a choice of 4, 6, or 8-cylinder engines. Now only $77.40. 91 Dodge Ram Tough 4x4 pickup. Priced at $11,393. 91 Dodge conversion van, loaded for family fun. Only $15,992. Come ride with Pride and save. You'll be glad you did.
That's Pride Dodge. That's Pride Dodge.
Tough Shed says,
if you think a tin shed can hold up like a Tough Shed, you're in for a big surprise.
Tough Shed, quality, fair prices, and they're tough.
Now that's a Tough Shed.
3000 South Highland Drive. Call 367-TOUGH. That's 367-TOUGH. Call today.
It's Big West Conference basketball on Sports Channel, and welcome back to Irvine, California once again. Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. Running Rebels ready to face the Anteaters. You got to love that nickname. Let's go over to the PA announcer now for the starting lineups. Greg Katz.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Brent Event Center in Irvine, California. Tonight's Big West Conference basketball game featuring the Runnin' Rebels of the University of Nevada at Las Vegas and your Anteaters of the University of California at Irvine. Ladies and gentlemen, before we give the opening lineups for tonight's game, we ask you please join us in a moment of silence as we remember in this time of war the men and women who are on duty in our armed forces, their families, and all of those around the world who are suffering of enduring hardship because of this conflict. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting five for the Runnin' Rebels of the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. At forward is senior 6'7" from Dallas, Texas, number 4, Larry Johnson. At forward is senior 6'8" from Pasadena, California, number 32, Stacy Ogman. Pennsylvania, number 44, George Ackles. At guard, a junior 6'1" from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Anderson Hunt. And at guard, a senior 6'2" from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 50, Greg Anthony. The head coach of the Runnin' Rebels, Jerry Tarkania. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's stand up and greet your starting five of your Anteaters of the University of California at Irvine. At forward, a senior 6'7" from Mission Viejo, California, number 11, Jeff Birdman. A sophomore 6'2" from Santa Ana, California, number 23, Craig Marshall. Center, a senior 6'7" from Linwood, California, number 51, Ricky Butler. At guard, a sophomore 6'3" from Laguna Beach, California, number 22, Dylan Rigdon. Guard, a junior 6 feet from Los Angeles, California, number 5, Gerald McDonald. Head coach of your Anteaters is Bill Mulligan.
In his 11th year at UC Irvine, Billy Mulligan, what a character, what a nice gentleman. Coming off the worst season in UC Irvine history last year at 5-23. Great motivator. One of the better looking team mascots I have ever seen. I don't think there's any question about that when you look at that Anteater for UC Irvine. Runnin' Rebels lead the overall series by a dozen. They have taken 8 of the last 10, but as we alluded to earlier, Mario, the two teams have split the series here in Irvine.
And Mulligan seems to have the numbers on his friend Jerry Tarkanian, UNLV's team. But Bill will tell you, we had some good players back then, the likes of Scotty Brooks and Todd Murphy who are playing NBA ball now for Minnesota. He doesn't feel he has the same talent at this time, but he loves to play UNLV and he loves to get him in this building.
Well, you've seen it on NFL helmets over the last few weeks to honor our servicemen over in the Persian Gulf, and the Big West Conference is doing the same. UNLV with the American flag on their jersey, and likewise the same for the Anteaters of UC Irvine. It is on the front side of Ricky Butler. We didn't pick it up on that shot, but and our prayers, our thoughts with those young men and women over in the Persian Gulf. As I said, this is hopefully a bit of a diversion. just a break in the action. UNLV with an 11-0 record, the longest winning streak in the nation at 22 straight. See, they put him away early. They put away so many people early as Hunt got caught up in the air, but Johnson bailed him out.
And Irvine will look to push the ball as many times as they can. They feel that they're better off the break than when they have to set up in their half-court game because of the tremendous defensive overplay by UNLV, and there's an example of it. Right off the bat, forcing a turnover on the very first possession.
Gerald McDonald, young man from Los Angeles, wanted Herdman, who was headed toward the baseline. So that is the first turnover. UNLV gets 21 turnovers a game on an average from their pressured defense from their opposition. Anderson Hunt, who's hitting 43% from three-point range, missing his first drive. Gerald McDonald, a nifty move to find Butler. First block of the game for George Ackles.
There may be more tonight. Ackles holds the all-time record for UNLV with blocks in the season at 64.
He leads the Big West Conference in block shots. Dylan Rigdon off the mark. Ackles with the rebound. Ackles doing the little things so well. He's not looking for the shot all that often at the offensive end, but does he ever play a sensational game at the defensive end of the floor? You've seen the rebound, the shot block earlier. Just a sound player.
Oh, great look inside.
Nice entry pass. Johnson is blocked from the side by Butler. A block for Ricky Butler. And a break and a three-point try for Dylan Rigdon. The Anteaters with their first lead of the night.
That's a big bucket for Rigdon. He has been inconsistent, doesn't always look for the shot, and they need him to take that three-pointer early.
It's a matchup zone. Augman, he's been sensational from three-point range this year, but that was ugly. That wasn't even close. They want to run it. They love the up-tempo game. Butler on the lob. They get a break. It's off the fingertips of Johnson. And it still belongs to the Anteaters in their offensive end. How often have you seen Larry Johnson block this year?
Oh, I'll tell you, what a great basketball player. I think the best player in the country, and he just dominates inside. Irvine runs a four-man passing game. This time they're facing UNLV zone out into the out-of-bounds play.
Anteaters with the ball, a one-point lead. McDonald, a three-pointer. I told you, they've taken already almost 200 more three-pointers than their opponents over their first 17 games this year as they find Augman inside. Nice double clutcher.
There's that defensive transition that you have to have when you play UNLV. You've got to get back down court so quickly because they always look inside first.
2-point Irvine lead. Anteaters 3 games under the 500 mark, coming in at 7-10 overall. 2-3 in the Big West. Butler. There's the rebound on the weak side. Craig Marshall. A 4-point lead for the Anteaters.
How often do you see a 6'2" guard playing the forward spot and Marshall being able to come over and get that weak side bucket?
On the baseline, Stacey Augman going to the line. The foul on Ricky Butler. They have been able to penetrate with the passes down to the baseline, finding Johnson early and Stacey Augman on this last play regularly.
One of the ways you can attack the basket against a matchup is to do exactly that. This time, Irvine tried to go with Butler. That's a tough shot for Ricky Butler. And there's little Craig Marshall, one of the best defensive players around, crashing the offensive boards. But UNLV always go, and there's the man who likes to play along the baseline, Stacey Augman.
Running Rebels, not a great team with the free throw line this year. Just a little bit below 70%. If you're looking for a minus, that may be it. And a little bit below even 70% away from home. It's a 2-point game now. The Anteaters with the ball in the lead.
UNLV does nothing fancy. They just play hard man-to-man defense. Great overplay. They almost front everybody, and there's Anthony with an example of it.
Nice steal by Greg Anthony, and he ties it up for the Rebels.
Great anticipation by Greg Anthony that time.
It's off the foot of McDonald. Look at Anthony did again with a good pressure defense.
Gerald McDonald, the first year with UC Irvine. This is one of the things Bill Mulligan was worried about. Last year, he had a senior point guard, Rod Palmer, had experience at UCLA. Rod Palmer turned it over 7 times in the first 2 minutes against UNLV. So Billy was concerned tonight that Gerald McDonald may have the same problem.
They may want to bring Marshall out to handle the ball a little bit more, help out. Three-point try off the mark for Anderson Hunt. George Ackles gives them another opportunity at the offensive end. Nice drive.
And that's a move that Hunt is perfecting right now. Head fake and driving inside. We know he's a perimeter player, but he's learning to take the ball inside.
The lob for Butler, batted away by Ackles. Second lead of the contest now. Owned by UNLV at 10-8. They got the first 2 points of the game. 18th year at UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian, and the second winningest active coach in NCAA play, behind only Dean Smith of North Carolina. He's won better than 80% of his games at UNLV. Herdman off the mark as Butler kept it alive, but Johnson's got another rebound. They want to open up the floor whenever possible. So does Irvine, though. Great penetration pass. Anthony to Augman. Again, they find the man on the baseline floating along. Takeaway by Hunt. He's got the easy one. 4 straight for the running Rebels. And a 6-point lead.
And these are the streaks that you have to stay away from when you play UNLV, because they can score so quickly off the defense, off the turnovers. Before you know it, you're behind by a big number.
That's 10 straight points now. A 10-0 run by UNLV after Irvine led it 8-4. It is now 14-8. The running Rebels. Marshall. And the foul on Larry Johnson.
And Marshall that time almost got bailed out. He's not really an offensive-oriented player. He helps create, and he goes to the boards. So Johnson picked up the foul that time.
Well, that is an official's timeout, a TV timeout, a break for Bill Mulligan, and UC Irvine, they needed it. 10-0 run, and the Rebels with the run and a 6-point lead.
You want to build on the corner of what and where?
This is Rock Springs Vista, 4 years ago, when life began at $54,950.
To those of you who prefer to pay the high price of living on a golf course, you have our sympathy.
This is Rock Springs Vista today, where over 500 families have discovered where life begins at $64,950. Easy to find, easy to buy. It's easy to live at Rock Springs Vista, where life begins at $64,950.
It hit that house.
Because Southwest Airlines has more flights a day than other airlines, if you miss one, you can probably catch the next one. Or the next one. Or the next one. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. Because most of Southwest Airlines flights are short, we serve snacks, which saves you money because you don't pay for an airline meal or anything associated with an airline meal. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money.
Over the last couple of minutes, the matchup zone for UC Irvine, not all that effective, Mario, especially down to the baseline where Augman is sleeping and just flashing down low.
And this man, number 50, he's the man who really is the great creator. He pinpoints Augman. As you see, he's wide open on the baseline, slips in behind the back of the zone that you mentioned, Joel. And that's a concern. That's the reason why Irvine's playing that matchup zone, is to prevent UNLV from having that inside penetration.
10-0 run over the last 2 minutes. He's been the sleeper, as I just mentioned, because he is sleeping behind the defense, and they're not recognizing, picking it up quickly enough. So with 15:24 left in the first half, the Anteaters have it, but they've got some problems. They're down by 6. They're throwing the ball away regularly because of the good pressure defense by Greg Anthony and Anderson Hunt. Those two have applied most of the pressure in the backcourt.
Hunt and Anthony, I think, are the 2 best defensive guards as a tandem around. They are outstanding at what they can do on the defensive side.
Butler got away from his man George Ackles, then blew the layup. That would have stopped the 10-0 run. Now Anderson Hunt tries to make it 13 straight. Ackles bats it around to Johnson, who saves it. What a great athletic play.
Like a volleyball player inside.
Well, they're doing so well that they can almost get away with anything. Anderson, or make that Greg Anthony, almost looked like a water polo player with that last pass. Marshall available just inside the 3-point line. And that was partially deflected by George Ackles. He got a piece of that one. They've got the break. They've got Ackles. Oh. Well, I thought he was a little bit too close and maybe underneath the basket for a dunk. I guess I was sadly mistaken.
He just reached up there and pounded it through.
12-0 run. An 8-point lead for the running Rebels. Herdman for 3.
Oh, that's it. Now, see, last time down, Marshall looks for the shot. Marshall's only an 18% three-point shooter. Get it in the hands of your three-point man. Let him fire, and that's Herdman.
Running Rebels is a group hitting 43% of their three-point tries, so it's a pretty high percentage shot when they take it out there, like Anderson Hunt right now. You've got to get somebody out in that zone, though. Even if you're going to collapse over to the strong side, you've got to get somebody out top.
And Joel, you hit the point. That's the weakness in this match because they have to defend inside so much so against UNLV that it's bound to leave either Hunt or Anthony open at the top.
Butler not close, but he stays with it. Got Johnson into the air.
How many more head fakes can you give a guy?
Without a 3-second call.
Oh, my.
Ogman looking in the transition game. They wait for Johnson to get back up the floor.
UNLV trying to look inside for Johnson, and Butler forced to play on his hip. Oh.
Anthony again. Now remember, he is the point guard, but when he started at the University of Portland before he transferred to UNLV, he was an off guard, a shooting guard.
And a fine one. He was the freshman of the year in the West Coast Conference that year. So he had the ability to put the 3 down. Showed it right there.
Rigdon with a man on the baseline, and Marshall blew the slam.
Rigdon should have shot that ball.
Ogman, he won't make any mistakes. And the fans at UC Irvine, regardless of whether they're Rebel fans or Anteater fans, they enjoyed that one.
Ogman's one of the best finishers on the fast break you'll see. He just knows what to do with the ball inside. And the defense.
It's all Herdman. As the defensive pressure pays off again as Elmore Spencer is coming to the game for the first time this evening. Only the second 7-footer to play for Jerry Tarkanian at UNLV, Brett Broman. The other 7-footer.
Check out that uniform. He's already sweating through that uniform halfway up. He comes out during warm-ups and really works hard. Let me tell you, he walked by me. He was soaked.
You sure he wasn't doing road work with Mike Tyson before the game?
You're trying to get him to lose some weight to get a little quickness, but I'm telling you, he works harder in the warm-up.
Sure he wasn't in the steam room before the contest. Anderson Hunt wide open again. It's a set shot. When he's that wide open, he doesn't have to leave the floor.
Hey, Joel, you might be able to hit that one from out there wide open like that.
By Richie Guerin, 2-handed set. Rigdon, can he get it to drop? But he's fouled to the play. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
I like the way Rigdon's come out here tonight, though, so far for Irvine, because he has had a tendency recently not to attack the basket. And here's an example of it. Going hard, going strong, challenging the big guy, Spencer, inside and drawing the foul.
It's got to be a nightmare of a start for Billy Mulligan, the head coach of the Anteaters at UC Irvine, because they did start out well. They had an early 4-point lead at 8-4. Then they went cold for 2 minutes, a 10-0 run, actually a 12-0 run it turned into for UNLV, and now they lead it by 14. It's Rigdon. Goes to the line to shoot 2.
Billy said to me earlier today, he said, you know, the problem you worry about when you play UNLV is the streaks. It's just the same thing you alluded to, Joel. They pick up the points so quick. You feel like you're right in the ball game, and the next thing you know, you're down by 10.
Perfect example. 13 minutes left in the first half. Fresno State down by only 2, 20-18 over the next 6.5 minutes. UNLV goes on a 29-8 run, and the game is essentially over.
And then again in the second half of that game, Fresno cuts it to 11. Ogman hits 3 shots in a row. It's back to a 20-point game. It's done.
There's the break. Ogman, did it even go through? I didn't see the net move. It's a 14-point lead now for the running Rebels. The young man who just came at the contest, Cornelius Banks, misses his first attempt. The sophomore from Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. Greg Anthony, the nifty move. Doesn't get it to go. But he's at the line shooting 2. Herdman talking to Banks and a couple of others down low.
Well, on this break, you're going to see a track meet right here. See the big man, 24, Spencer? Keep an eye on him right now, because he's going to come flying up the floor. Well, this is the previous play, actually. This is the dunk from Ogman inside. But
oh, yes, the net didn't move.
Yeah. But Spencer was racing down the floor, neck and neck. I mean, he wants to be a part of this transition game as well.
Greg Anthony sporting the mouth guard. Gives the running Rebels biggest lead of the night.
What a great floor leader he's become for this basketball team. Showed so much poise last season and confidence in his fearless play when he played with that broken jaw. Really sparked his team into the NCAA tournament.
Anteaters down by 16. Do you want to put pressure onto the backcourt? Now, of course, they've got the ball. The offensive end is Herdman. Got away from Ogman momentarily. Butler averaging 17 a game. Jumping into Spencer, draws the foul, and Spencer off his feet a little bit, and he's got the bucket. But do you want a trap in the backcourt? Because it's obviously been broken very easily the 2 times they put on the trap in the backcourt. Are you playing into the hands of UNLV?
That's the question you throw up in the air when you play UNLV. You try every possible combination you can, but anything can happen to you in breakdowns. But this guy right here, Butler, is fearless inside, and he is tougher than people realize in there with all those head fakes. The problem is he's going to pick up a 3-second count sooner or later.
It has not been a great start, to say the least, for the Anteaters of UC Irvine, but fortunately for Billy Mulligan and his crew, they are only down by 13 to the #1 team in the nation.
You need a...
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
Remember when birthdays were all fun and games?
Well, they still are. It's the Rio's first birthday, and we're throwing a party. There's fun, there's food, there's thrills, there's excitement, and lots of really nice people. It's the Rio's first birthday. Everybody's invited to see what's shaking. So come down all January. Rio's first birthday party. There's a whole lot of shaking going on.
Welcome back once again to the Bren Center on the campus of UC Irvine. The Anteaters of UC Irvine playing host to the #1 team of the nation, the Running Rebels of UNLV. And as I mentioned earlier, our prayers, our thoughts. Well, it's tough to say they're here at the Bren Center because they're with our servicemen and women in the Persian Gulf. For a speedy outcome and resolution. The difficult times that we're all experiencing over there. So we will continue to have that on our mind as we watch college basketball on Sports Channel America. As you can see, it's on the minds of a lot of the players, UC Irvine and UNLV. Augment. Well, that wasn't close, but Larry Johnson's on the opposite side. It's now a 15-point lead once again for UNLV.
UNLV just crashes the offensive boards, and if you're on the other side, you have got to block out. You can't let people get second and third attempts against you inside.
Young man, it just came in. Elmore Spencer rejects the shot attempt. It was taken by Jeff Von Lutzo. And the break again for Anderson Hunt. Well, that transition game playing right into the hands of UNLV.
Rigdon that time almost got his hands on the ball, but they went right into Hunt's hand.
Ricky Butler, pass Spencer. Look at the rejection, though, by Johnson. Look at the team defense of UNLV again.
And look at him get down court on the break so quickly.
Anderson Hunt. Von Lutzo in trouble. Almost walked with the ball. That's that pressure, even in the backcourt, off a missed shot.
It's definitely relentless.
Steal for Stacey Augman, and another slam dunk. UNLV running away, and UC Irvine may need a timeout. They're trailing by 19, and welcome to those of you joining us now on Sports Channel Cincinnati. Joel Myers along with Mario Balladini. We are the Bren Center, Southern California, UC Irvine down in Orange County. All UNLV so far. Cornelius Banks, fortunately for the Anteaters, finds a three-pointer.
Well, Banks has got a good stroke from the outside. He can put it down from there.
It's off the hands of Herdman. And coming back into the game, the starting guard, Gerald McDonald, transfer from Compton College. Even though he was a center at Compton College, or rather a guard at Compton College, he jumped center. He is that great a leaper.
You believe that? 6 feet, and and that's pushing 6 feet that he's able to jump as well as he does. Vice comes into the game now. Another man who can shoot the ball from the outside for his UNLV bunch.
It goes back to the point we were talking about at the top of the telecast, though. Are they deep enough at the guard position? Be considered one of the greatest all times in college basketball. One of the greatest teams, Elmore Spencer, towering over the Anteaters. Is Travis Bison up with another one like H. Waldman, who's only a freshman coming off the bench? Butler, the jump hook. They beat the Rebels finally on the strong side.
And a nice look that time by Butler with that jump hook, trying something different to get away from all the blocks he's had to face from Johnson and Spencer so far.
It has been a mismatch so far. Spencer hard off the glass, but Larry Johnson's there. And now a third try at the offensive end as Stacey Augman has the loose ball. Bice for three. That's his specialty. And coming up with the rebound, Marshall. Anteaters love to run it. Top two teams in scoring in the Big West Conference. UNLV averaging 102 points a game. Irvine 90 points a game coming in. And another turnover. Goes right back to UNLV. 3-point shot so far. Irvine, they need every one of them.
Yeah, they do. And right now McDonald's really struggling at the point for Irvine. That time he had Herdman wide open on the left side. Got confused by UNL's defense. Tried to go to the right side and threw it away.
Bice. Another miss from 3-point range. And a foul inside on Elmore. Spencer holding on.
Well, one of the things you hope for if you're Irvine is you're going to get UNLV's big players in foul trouble inside. When Irvine upset UNLV 2 years ago, they got Butler and Scurry in foul trouble early in the basketball game. Larry Johnson wasn't there, and that proved to be the difference in the game is Irvine was able to keep it close with their outside shooting.
McDonald looking for an opening. Now that may be a matchup they want to try to exploit as Butler may have gotten away with a walk, almost got a 3-point play out of it. He'll go to the line to shoot two, but in that matchup, they had Herdman working on Travis Bice outside. That is a matchup I think Bill Mulligan would like to see more often.
That's exactly it. And the matchups will cause or will create different opportunities. There's the quick first step. And as you said, Joel, it might have been a little too quick. He might have gotten away with a couple extra steps in there. But he's attacking Spencer, and now he's got Spencer with some fouls and having to sit down.
Spencer sitting down with his second. 7 points so far for Ricky Butler. He's at the free throw line. Make it 8. He's a senior from Linwood, California.
You look at that wide body on Butler, and yet you realize that he's lost 25 pounds since last season. I mean, last season he was a big wide body.
He gets both free throws. Closes the gap to 14. All the way up to 19 at one point. Line drives it in. That's Everett Gray, who just came into the game. They have so many coming off the bench. Their depth, though, is definitely on the baseline with a Spencer and Everett Gray and a couple of others coming in. Butler got away from Ackles. Herdman, 3 for 3. He's got it.
Herdman can really put the three down. You know, he was a 51% three-point shooter 2 years ago. Then he struggled badly last season. Really got down on himself. And then this year, he also lost some weight and has gotten the stroke back. Look at the ball rotation from UNLV. They really work the perimeter. And what more can you say about that?
Larry Johnson, it's almost like a tip throw with him and Ackles underneath. They can just keep it alive and then take it back to the basket. And sometimes it does look like they're in practice out there. That's how much they can get away with whatever they want to.
Speaking of practice, I asked Bill Mulligan, I said, how'd you practice for this team? He said, Mario, we almost didn't. He said, I don't have the subs who can imitate what UNLV does.
Johnson got away? No, he didn't. It's a travel. He took a step before he put the ball on the floor. A rare turnover so far in the first half for UNLV. And when we come back, the Anteaters of UC Irvine will have the ball. And do they ever need it with 7:16 left in the first half? Because they are trailing by 16.
If you enjoy a quiet afternoon get-together,
It's the right beer now.
if you're concerned about not just what goes on your body, but what goes in it,
It's the right beer now.
because when you're in a place that's really happening, anything can happen. So call for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Yeah, it's the right beer now.
If you wonder why you see so many of these, so does Findlay's competition. Here are some of the reasons. #1 volume Oldsmobile dealer in Nevada, Findlay's. Rebate leader of Las Vegas, Findlay's. Highest rated values and best quality used cars in town, Findlay's. Serving Las Vegas since 1961, almost 30 years. No high-pressure sales tactics. Best prices for the finest quality automobiles available, the new generation Oldsmobile. Just a few of the reasons why you see the Findlay license plates all around town. But the main reason is, at Findlay Oldsmobile, the customer is #1.
Coming up on Sports Channel, our next Big West telecast, Mario and I will be in Las Vegas. Tough duty. Very difficult task, but we'll try to make it there to Las Vegas on Saturday night for the Runnin' Rebels' next matchup. That'll be the 49ers of Long Beach State. Seth Greenberg losing a couple of players to graduation. A couple of games, maybe even now 3 games they are under the 500 mark. And a team that was wiped out of their contest tonight, Mario, because a backboard was broken at Cal State Fullerton and they did not have a replacement. How about those anteaters, though? Gotta love that mascot.
Can you believe that, though? Breaking a backboard like that and not having a replacement. Slam dunks in the warm-ups. Did it again tonight.
They could have played in my backyard, though. I've got a 10-footer and a decent rim. Another turnover.
I'll tell you, Seth Greenberg's going to have that Long Beach State team rolling come tournament time. It's just a matter of time before he settles down that point guard situation. Tyrone Mitchell gone. And you can look at that as being almost 4 games that they really should have won this season with his leadership.
Gray on the baseline. Uncontested over Butler. 18-point lead for the Runnin' Rebels. Nice dish. Marshall from McDonald.
That's something McDonald did not do early in the ballgame. He was not penetrating all the way inside. Now he's getting a little more confidence in his game and taking it in there.
6.5 minutes left in the first half. And there's a foul. McDonald coming in, reaching in on Everett Gray. This is one of the few buildings I've ever seen. Easy to read the scoreboard from our courtside position. It is directly above us, and I believe that is the only scoreboard in the house. And they flash numbers over the official scores table for us, possibly.
Look at Ackles going off the floor right there right now. You know, he's got a groin pull, a tough groin pull, and they were questioned as to how he, and if he might even play here tonight. So he's having a hard time seeing the scoreboard, too, let me tell you.
Johnson posting up without success. And McDonald. A couple of dandy moves to get away from a double team. Herdman from the San Fernando Valley misses, but he is fouled by Everett Gray.
Was it ever? NBA three-pointer take that time.
That was a good 6 to 8 feet beyond the 19-plus three-point line at the college level. Everett Gray picking up the foul. That's only his first.
Yeah, and a silly foul by Everett Gray that time when a player is out that far. Now he gets 3 free throw opportunities with the new rule this season.
Well, they'll say it was after the shot, actually.
Okay. All right.
So they bail out Everett Gray. And the Anteaters will bring it in now. If Herdman could, he'd probably try to take it from there, but the ball's got to touch somebody else first.
Got to get it in, though.
And he's got problems. It is a 5 count. Another turnover because of the great defense of UNLV.
You know what, Joel, though? That may not be that bad of a play, and I'll tell you why. If you throw that pass in, here's the other side of the story, right? Throw that pass in, there's a turnover, they come down and score on you.
That's a positive attitude.
And this gives you a chance. Hey, this gives you a chance to at least set up in some kind of defense.
And I thought I was bad. Talk about a pessimist sitting next to me. Anderson Hawk.
Well, forget about that theory.
Let's follow before we bring it in so they can shoot the 1-and-1 then.
That's why I'll never make it as a coach.
McDonald trying to penetrate. Rigdon. We have not heard much from Rigdon offensively. Forces a little. And Anderson Hunter, make it Greg Anthony, rather, picking up the foul. The young man that's playing without the benefit of a scholarship. He gave up his aid, his grant, this year. As he's a very enterprising businessman in the Las Vegas area. A couple of businesses he's been involved with now. That's great.
Shirt manufacturing operation. He's got a real estate license up there. They call him a senator because he's a member of the Young Republicans in town. And he, in fact, worked in Washington as a lobbyist for one of the Congress people in Nevada. And his goal is to become a U.S. senator someday.
Dylan Rigdon hitting the first of 2 free throws on the back heels of his shoes. One says end, and the other says war. It is on the minds of everyone here at the Brim Center at UC Irvine. George Ackles coming back into the game. bomb. Rebels really not in foul trouble.
Dylan Rigdon, when he was in high school at Mater Dei High School, an outstanding school here in Southern California, he's produced some great high school players. He wore 19.9 in the back of his warm-up. I told you a little bit about his kind of play.
Ball slapped away from Stacey Ogman. Herdman perfectly timing that play. They've got to get some offense from Cornelius Banks off the bench.
Yeah, they need the points from the outside because the inside is going to be so tough every time. Look at Butler. Oh, what a
Ejected by Ackles. After Ackles was beaten, Ackles almost had the block. Ackles swipes it away.
Now, you can't make me believe that that man has a groin injury.
The ultimate window washer, George Ackles on top.
Gets up, swats it away without drawing the foul. That's the key thing. And then stays with it defensively.
Herdman got away from Ogman. Couldn't capitalize, though. Anthony losing it. Herdman taking a shot and coming up with a loose ball. Herdman didn't realize it was 1-on-4. They're out of control.
Are they ever?
The banker off the mark for Von Lutzo. Herdman. Air ball. Ackles with the rebound.
Gotta hustle back.
Anthony. Nobody's at home. And a 19-point lead as the Rebels match their largest advantage of the first half. Getting a little sloppy, just a little.
When it gets sloppy and you happen to fall down on the other end of the court, forget it. UNLV takes advantage of it and comes down in a hurry.
UNLV now with 16 fast break points. None so far. For UC Irvine, nice touch. He talks about that young man, Cornelius Banks. He's got the basket from Crenshaw High School here in Los Angeles, but doesn't make any difference. Anderson Hunt countering as quickly as you can. What did that take, 5 seconds?
Look at this.
Rigdon. And that's rejected, but it is goaltending. It was on its way down. Larry Johnson a little bit too close to the rim.
Well, they're going to point the points on the board tonight, no doubt about it. UNLV averages 102 a game. Irvine averages almost 90 a game. I mean, it's going to be up and down a track meet, just like we're seeing it so far in the first half.
H. Waldman.
Love that name.
That is his name. No period. Just H. His dad's name is Herb. I think his mom didn't want another Herb, so he is H. Ogman for three, where he's hit better than 45%. Butler losing it because Ogman's close, but gets it back. Von Lutzo forcing it, barely drew the rim.
And that was a classic force right there, 1-on-3, nothing there.
Don May also in the game for the Anteaters for the first time tonight. In the middle, trying to keep up with George Ackles.
Don May's going to work. He's one of the hardest working guys you're going to see, number 31 for Irvine. Not gifted offensively, just a hard, solid worker. He'll put a body on you.
Anteaters with the ball. McDonald. Did he have to arch that one? It's loose.
Here's Don May.
Pretty good scramble.
See that? He's not afraid to go down there and play hard.
Don May's upset. He thought it was a foul on Anderson Hunt with the headlock. But he does not get the call. On the alternating possession arrow, it still belongs to the Anteaters of UC Irvine as we come back to the Bren Center with 3:13 left in the first half.
Because Southwest Airlines has so many daily flights, this is the kind of sophisticated equipment that helps keep us on schedule. So is this. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. At Southwest Airlines, we have the newest pure jet fleet in the airline industry. In fact, our fleet of Boeing 737s averages just 6 years of age, just like some of our favorite customers. Southwest Airlines, the youngest fleet in the air.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
Well, at least the band is having fun. You can't say the same for the Anteaters and Billy Mulligan, their head coach. It has not been fun for that side, but Jerry Tarkanian has to be pleased with the way his offense is getting out on the break. The transition's been sensational.
You know, that defense that they play is so underrated. I think, and I've said it before, I think he's the least publicized defensive coach in the country. And they've played such hard defense for the last few years. they create the offense off that defense, and it's amazing to see that he can get his players to play with such great chemistry on the defensive side. Everybody likes to put points on the board and score. That's easy. It's getting your players to play defense consistently over the course of an entire game and playing good team defense, and he gets that out of every single one of his players.
Don May for three.
Oh, my.
Don May from the outside, a junior from Palos Hills, Illinois. He played in. Well, he started actually 8 last year. Hasn't seen that in minutes, though, this year. That's an unexpected source for three. George Ackles, rebound von Lutzo. They look for the break.
They need a three here again. It's difficult now because Herdman's out of the game. Your 3-point scorer, so you look to this man, Banks, to try to give you some points.
At least they're moving without the basketball now. Cornelius Banks had to alter the shot. And he was fouled. Will it be on H. Waldman? I believe so. So Waldman picks up the foul. That is his first. He is from Las Vegas.
I like H. Waldman. I think he's going to be a real solid point guard for UNLV. He's going to take some playing time, and he's lucky that he's able to get a lot of playing time because of the large scores that they run up on a lot of teams.
He is the only freshman on the Rebels roster. Banks. And all of a sudden, it's only a 13-point lead for UNLV.
Jeff Herdman comes in smiling with Don May, who replaced. May hit that three-pointer. You know, they're going to be on May about that three-pointer for a long, long time to come.
You know, he's perfect on the 2 free throws. Well, Herdman wasn't happy when he sat down. A smile on his face when he comes back onto the floor. And then Billy Mulligan had something to say, and Don May got a little bit of a laugh out of it.
Well, he's a guy that really plays hard. He wants to be out there playing basketball all the time. As we said, he's just not a very gifted offensive player. But he seems to give everybody an added burst of emotion the way he plays basketball.
Ackles off balance, out of control, throws it away. You haven't seen that too often in the first half from the Rebels. And now the Anteaters will cut it to either 10 or 9 with a three-pointer. Rigdon working up the backcourt now with McDonald. Butler got away from Ackles. Oh, can't buy it, though. It has been a quiet first half offensively for Ricky Butler, their leading scorer and rebounder. Anderson Hunt, will it be a charge? Yes, it will. McDonald accepted the blow underneath. Anderson Hunt, and it looked like he had to step on the baseline. I don't know. We'll obviously see it again, but did the man establish position underneath? Tough call.
I'll take it.
Tough call.
Yeah, I'm calling a charge. Let's see if he's set. Still sliding. Continuation tech. That's an NBA charge. That's an NBA charge. I'll take it.
And now Gerald McDonald is going to go to the line to shoot 2. It's Rick Swanwick, freshman, coming into the Anteaters lineup. They are using a number of players, but they have to because of the tempo of the contest. It has been up and down since the outset.
And Swanwick comes in. This is his debut, so to speak, in a big game like this. Big guy, 6'10", a post-up power strength type player. Kerry Johnson had been replacing Butler, but now they've got Swanwick in there. And against UNLV, that's a good move because you're going to need the bulk. You're going to need the size inside to battle those big front line players from UNLV.
Almost 11. And it is 11, actually. 53-42. Almost cut it down to 10. Under 2 minutes left in the first half.
And right away, UNLV is going to try to go inside and have Johnson work on Swanwick, and he goes right around him and score. I mean, they take advantage of it on the first possession. They find your weaknesses and go right to it.
Good recognition by the Runnin' Rebels, the #1 team in the nation, taking advantage of the situation. Now Rigdon. He was really bailed out. He was out of control on the baseline.
Dylan Rigdon's trying to do too much on the dribble instead of trying to work the passing game. The 4-man passing game that Irvine runs, and this is one of the things that Rigdon's going to have to learn as he matures at that position.
Foul coming up on Herdman, shoving down Greg Anthony, and don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll talk to the athletic director here at UC Irvine, Tom Ford. And Mario will also talk with Coach Billy Mulligan of the Anteaters. It's all coming up at the intermission.
What a great man, Billy
Does he
Mulligan.
ever sit down?
I'll tell you, he is just a great, great man. all the success that he's had over the years. He's put quite a few players in pro balls. We mentioned the two Timberwolves, Murphy and Brooks. Donnie Ryder's played for a while. And a great player, Kevin McGee, who still holds a lot of records here at Irvine for offense. Look at that spin move inside by Johnson.
Johnson working on the redshirt freshman. Swanek picks up his first foul.
Swanek's going to school tonight, as they say, because he's playing against premier player in the country. And Johnson will go inside, quick spin around, crossover, and up around Swanek to draw the foul.
Larry Johnson at the line for Las Vegas.
You can see Billy Mulligan coaching on how to play that position, how to play a guy like Johnson. I mean, how do you play a guy like Johnson? You front him, you play behind him.
Well, you know you come out with bruises at the end of the night. There's no question about that. Johnson missing the first of 2 free throws. Coming into the game, he had hit 37 of his last 42 at the free throw line, 88% over that span. Has he ever been red hot, though? He's got the second of 2, and Larry Johnson with a total of 9. That is basically a quiet first half for Larry Johnson. Ricky Butler.
Irvine trying to run Herman through the base that time, looking from underneath. Nothing there because of the good defense by the running Rebels.
Under a minute left in the first 20 minutes of play. McDonald for 3. Tackles looking for the break, almost lost it to Herdman. I don't think they'll hold it for the final shot. That is not their mindset. Or Megan Hoffman, rather, missing his second three-point try of the night. Rigdon for 3. Did he ever arch that baby?
That baby almost dropped rain on that one.
It's an 11-point game. That is 12 points for Dylan Rigdon. He had his best game last year against UNLV when he scored a career high at the time of 22 points. He's had a solid first half.
He's going to be a great player for this Irvine team. He really is. Good look inside once again. Oh, what a spin.
Larry Johnson.
And here is Anthony on the defensive steal with 2 seconds left.
Can he get it off in time? No. He was not aware that there was so little time left in the first half. But a successful start just the same for the #1 team in the nation. A 13-point lead at the half for UNLV. We'll be right back. The campus of UC Irvine.
At Wilden's Pride Dodge, we're slashing prices during our 3rd anniversary sale. Select this 1991 Shadow America, the lowest priced American car, for just $74.98. The sporty 91 Spirit for only $96.50, or truly one of America's most luxurious cars, the 91 Dodge Dynasty, for $11,788. All are equipped with driver's airbags. Come see us at Wilden's Pride Dodge. You'll be glad you did.
At Pride Dodge. At Pride Dodge.
The Running Rebels of UNLV led by as many as 19 on 3 different occasions in the first half, but after the first 20 minutes of play, a mini run over the last 3 minutes by the Anteaters, a big three-pointer from Dylan Rigdon, and a 13-point lead for UNLV. We'll be right back as we continue at halftime. And let's check in on the conversation with Tom Ford now.
Tom Ford. And Tom, I know you've just returned from the NCAA convention back in Nashville last week. A lot of reforms, a lot of controversy about it. How does it impact your program here?
It impacts us primarily in the financial area with the reforms that require us to meet a certain criterion to remain in Division I. There's 3 areas that we have to choose from, or 3 alternatives, and each of them will cost us a significant amount of money to increase, the least amount being about $70,000. The third alternative, which is the most extensive, would cost us about $230,000 initially. Then we're facing a 20% increase in fees across the board for UC students. So it has an impact on us.
Does it have any impact on your status as a Division I school?
Only if we don't conform to Proposition 46. And we intend on remaining at Division I. The institution and the chancellor has indicated we belong there, and we plan on being there and a member of the Big West Conference.
How would you go about gaining the additional finances with all this tight budgets that exist in the economy today?
Well, we obviously have to raise money. We're prohibited from utilizing tax-appropriated dollars in the state of California, even though we are a state institution. And so our sources of revenue are gate receipts, away game guarantees, and student registration fees. The students right now are our major donor, and we still have to go to the community to augment our operating budget and scholarships, and we need to raise about $600,000 a year now, even before the reform. So our work is cut out for us.
A lot of people have always looked at this program as a great program to build on. Many have said perhaps football could come here at some point in time. I know that the Rams practice here, USC practices here. Any thoughts about football as a possibility?
Yes, we've developed a strategic plan for the implementation of football. It's just that we need to discuss that internally with all the constituencies of our campus and then in the community to see what kind of support we could garner financially to support a football team. Another proposal within the NCAA reforms will impact that somewhat in that they're requiring schools to play all in the same division in all sports. And you'll see some schools like UC Santa Barbara, who just recently went to Division II in football, will have to either drop football or move it up to Division I status. So there's still some studying that needs to be done in addressing the schools that are in Division I AAA that we happen to fall in. So we'll wait until that happens. We don't envision football here for at least the next 5 years, but we might consider it within the next 5 to 10 years.
Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Okay.
We'll talk to you again soon. We'll take a break and come back with more right after this.
Nobody makes banking easier.
Now you can bank 7 days a week at First Interstate Bank's full-service Lucky Store branches, which means you can open a new checking account, apply for a loan, get cash, and do all your banking at your convenience. So check out our full-service branches in selected Lucky Stores, open 7 days a week. When it comes to convenience, we've got it in the bag.
First Interstate Bank.
Findlay Subaru, 3112 East Fremont. Overstock, forced to have an inventory reduction sale. Over $2.8 million in merchandise must be rolled out now. Your best buy under $7,000, a Subaru Justy at the low price of $169 a month. Your most affordable family transportation, a Subaru Loyale for only $189 a month. A Subaru is Justy, Loyale, and fun to drive, which includes the Subaru XT with a $3,000 rebate. Drive away in a Subaru or a fine Findlay used car. Findlay Subaru will save you money.
This is where the legend began, on rivers like the Gunnison and Colorado. When people came for the good times and discovered the beer, brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water for a fresher, smoother, more naturally refreshing taste. Today, the beer people used to travel miles to find is available almost everywhere, but it's still got that great fresh from the Rockies taste. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
Because Southwest Airlines has more flights a day than other airlines, if you miss one, you can probably catch the next one, or the next one, or the next one. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. Because most of Southwest Airlines flights are short, we serve snacks, which saves you money because you don't pay for an airline meal or anything associated with an airline meal. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money.
If you think it looks good on that little message, you ought to see this campus in person. It is absolutely magnificent. The campus of UC Irvine. Now welcome back once again to the Bren Center. It's halftime. The UNLV running Rebels with a 13-point lead over the Anteaters of UC Irvine. Not a very productive start for Billy Mulligan's crew. They were down by 19 a couple of times, but he's got to feel fortunate now they're only down by 13 at the intermission. Well, earlier tonight before the game, Mario spoke with Bill Mulligan in his 11th year here at UC Irvine. Get an idea of how he felt about the run-in Rebels.
Irvine coach Bill Mulligan joining me here at halftime. And coach, you have been one of the only coaches in the Big West Conference that has had a record of success against this UNLV team. What do you credit that to?
That's when we had really good players, Mario, and that made a big difference. We've beaten them 6 times, and I think one thing is that you're not as uptight when you play them as you are other teams, because nobody thinks you're going to beat them, whereas the other teams, you're more uptight because you got a chance of winning.
Have you ever seen a team as good as this UNLV bunch?
No, I haven't, but it's hard to compare and to go back, because you can't go back to eras, you know, the great UCLA teams and the Indiana team, obviously, but North Carolina maybe when they had Worthy and Jordan, but this is the best team I've seen, and today it's so much different, college basketball. You have to win 6 games to win the thing. You don't stay in the West necessarily, and there's teams who come from all over the country who play against you. So based on that, and with everybody they've got back, yeah, I think it's the best team.
Yeah, how does a coach go about preparing for UNLV? Can you prepare for a team as talented as they are?
Well, you and I talked about that. We were almost prepared for Santa Barbara and for New Mexico State. And then I said, no, we got to prepare for Vegas. But there's so many things they can do to counter what you do. You take away their outside shot, they'll kill you inside. Take away the inside, they'll hurt you outside. They run the break really well. And you can't assimilate what their defense is like because your subs can't do their defense.
So far this season, your team's had some good streaks, had a good game here on Sports Channel against Cal, then you've struggled at times, but against UNLV tonight, what's the key early in the game for your team?
You're being charitable. We struggled a few times. We have. You know, the Alaska Shootout, we played 3 extra games. We've played more than anyone else has in the conference. I hope our guys aren't tired. There's really no key. If we come out and play a fantastic game, we can stay in it. You know, and if we can get out early and not get blown out right away. You know how coaches are always saying, well, I'm going to save my timeouts. You know, you don't save your timeouts tonight. You might have to call one about every 2 minutes. I hate to tell you that with you doing the TV.
How about this crowd tonight, a sellout for you?
Yeah, well, we're not used to sellout crowds, but it's nice.
Okay, Coach, good luck, and again, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mario.
Okay, Bill Mulligan joining us here at halftime. We're going to take a break and come back with halftime highlights and stats right after this.
This is a hamburger. Hey, now it's a cheeseburger. Because from now on, you can get our original juicy hamburger for just 59 cents. Or for just another dime, get a delicious cheeseburger for just 69 cents. Our new real value menu. So, with a dime here and a dime there, now there's a real value. Yep, you know where. You'll love the change at McDonald's.
The buffet at the Gold Coast. The best foods for the best price anywhere. Take our words for it. Head for the Gold Coast Buffet. The last word in reasonably priced dining.
Because Southwest Airlines has so many daily flights, this is the kind of sophisticated equipment that helps keep us on schedule. So is this. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. At Southwest Airlines, we have the newest pure jet fleet in the airline industry. In fact, our fleet of Boeing 737s averages just 6 years of age, just like some of our favorite customers. Southwest Airlines, the youngest fleet in the air.
I'm Chad Weldon at Weldon's Pride Dodge, where we're slashing prices during a 3rd anniversary sale. 91 Dakota. Only Dodge gives you a choice of 4, 6, or 8-cylinder engines. Now only $77.40. 91 Dodge Ram Tough 4x4 pickup. Priced at $11,393. 91 Dodge conversion van, loaded for family fun. Only $15,992. Come ride with Pride and save. You'll be glad you did.
At Pride Dodge. At Pride Dodge.
Halftime continues at the campus of UC Irvine with the Anteaters of UC Irvine trailing the #1 team in the nation, the Running Rebels of UNLV, by 13 at 58-45. And welcome back once again. I'm Joel Myers alongside Mario Palladini. Just about everything they wanted went their way in talking about the Running Rebels. Almost hard to believe they're only leading by 13.
That's a good point. They really did have things their way. They were kind of playing games with UC Irvine early in the ball game, but Irvine got a little bit of a spurt there towards the end, and now we'll see the first 4 minutes of the second half, which are often the key of a ball game, and see if Irvine can come back, hit some early shots, and get back into this game only down 13.
Well, Mario, we have seen the Running Rebels of UNLV now 3 times over the last 2 weeks. What is so impressive is their team defense. They are keeping their opposition to only 39% from the field on the season. That is the same number tonight. And what is even more impressive tonight, 9 block shots alone in the first 20 minutes of play.
They average 8 block shots a game. Tonight they've already got 9. And, of course, Ackles inside, who's a great shot blocker, and Johnson. But give Irvine credit. They're trying to pound the ball inside, trying to draw some fouls in there to have a chance to compete in the ball game. They're going to continue to try to do that as well in the second half, so there could be more block shots.
Earlier, it looked like it was going to be a blowout, a 19-point lead over the first 10 minutes for the Running Rebels of UNLV. Inside-outside game to perfection.
Well, they really work it. Even the big guy, Spencer, gets involved, kicks it back out. They're always working the perimeter, looking inside first, and if it's not there, they look to the outside. Johnson will kick it out, and Hunt. I mean, that's a wide-open, uncontested set shot for Anderson Hunt, and he puts that down easily. Occasionally, Irvine will throw you a press after an out-of-bounds play. They did it here, but they didn't do a good job in terms of being able to take advantage of it. And UNLV easily breaks it down with that man, Anthony, finding the flying Stacey Augman, who makes it look simple on the slam dunk. And for Irvine on the other side, they too have been looking in the perimeter. Herdman faking it, going to the corner where an open Gerald McDonald launches at 3. Doesn't shoot the 3 very well, but that time he hit it early in the game. That was a big shot. And then as the game progressed, McDonald got more confidence, penetrated inside, and kicked it off beautifully in there. That's what they're going to need to do more of, is penetration, kicking it out, not getting caught inside for the turnovers.
39% from the field for UC Irvine, which is the number that UNLV has allowed their opposition all season long. An incredible stat, 57% from the floor. So many of those inside off the transition game. And the free throw shooting solid for both teams. Rebounding very close, closer than many expected coming into the game because of the size advantage down the baseline for UNLV. And already 11 turnovers due to that pressure defense of UNLV, committed by Irvine. Looking at the individual numbers now, Anderson Hunt already above his season average at 17 points. And Larry Johnson, he's been averaging 28 points a game over the last 5. He was held, and I say held because he's been so sensational lately, to 11 of the first 20 minutes. But 10 rebounds as well for Larry Johnson. Rigdon with a couple of three-pointers led the way for Irvine with a total of 12. Banks off the bench. That was a big boost to get 7 out of Cornelius Banks. And Herdman with 5 rebounds to lead the way for Irvine. So Anderson Hunt hot in the first half. The leading three-point shooter for the season at 44% for UNLV. And a three-pointer. Passed it up for Ackles. Short-range jumper, the high percentage shot. And the assist to Anderson Hunt.
It's amazing to see how well Ackles has improved since he's had competition competition at that spot with Elmore Spencer becoming eligible. He's averaged better than 10.5 points a game and 7 rebounds a game since Spencer came in, so he's much more active. Competition makes a big difference.
Is there a deeper team at the post position now? Look at Ogden. Great defense. Got it away from Herdman.
And look how he pulls it back out because the numbers weren't there. 1 against 3. He gets back set into his offense. Now let Anthony run and create.
Is there a deeper team at the post position? Behind Ackles, you've got Spencer and then Melvin Love now.
I don't think there is. I mean,
Johnson rejected by Butler for the second time tonight. McDonald. They can't convert on the easy one. Augment. Out by Butler. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, as you were about to say.
Well, you mentioned the big people inside with Spencer now and with Love. You've got, I mean, big people. We're talking about 6'10", 6'11 people. Butler that time could have gotten a foul with the body when he went up on Johnson, but made a great block. But again, Irvine does not capitalize on the other end, whereas UNLV does. They quickly get it down court. Ogman comes away with, at worst, a couple of free throws.
It goes without saying you better finish those easy ones. When you miss the layups like McDonald did against UNLV, though, you're burying yourself. You have no chance of winning if you don't capitalize on those situations.
You go from that extreme to this man, who's probably the best finisher you're going to see in transition basketball, Stacey Ogman. Now, there's a number you wouldn't expect to see out of a guy that size to be the steal leader all time with UNLV, but those long arms, the big long arms, force a lot of turnovers.
Rigdon, 26 feet out. Rebound for Marshall. He's got it. And he'll go to the line. Ogman looked at the official like, are you serious? You called a foul on that play? It'll be the first on Stacey Ogman.
You've got to love the desire. A 6'2" Greg Marshall inside. After Rigdon fires a rainbow shot up there, it didn't go. Little guy going above, skying inside. They play Marshall because he does everything they ask of him. Not a gifted player. He just plays extremely hard and a very solid defensive player.
So it turns into a 3-point play, as it's now a 14-point lead for UNLV. Anderson Hunt was red hot from 3-point range of the first half. Marshall got it away from Ogman. It looked like Ogman was going to just keep it alive in the air.
That's just great effort again by Marshall.
Herdman almost got away from Ogman. Has to worry about the 5 count. And it's off Butler. He threw it away. He forced it. He was worried about the 5 count. There's no question.
You could see it when he tried to go baseline on Ogman. He was feeling the defensive pressure. Got away from what he wanted to do. He should have still taken that baseline jump shot. He had it. Yet he tried to go inside.
So it stays at 14.
Great ball reversal by UNLV.
Greg Anthony. Super penetration move. Back to 16. McDonald trying to do it on his own. A little bump at the end of the play. Herdman with the rebound. Ackles with the block. That is a 10. As Anthony shows his high hurdling skills.
Every time you go inside against UNLV, you're going to get contested because of their big people. Herdman does a good job on the offensive board. Goes straight up, forget it. Ackles blocks it away. And Anthony leaping over, trying to keep it in bounds.
The racket is Rigdon. Picks up the foul on Anderson Hunt. Well, Ackles leads the Big West Conference in block shots. He averages 2 a game. He's got better than 2, believe me, tonight.
Ball awarded to UCI.
3 on Hunt right now.
So that's the 3rd foul on Anderson Hunt as Butler gets it inside and makes no mistake about it. Now let's see. What we were talking about earlier is a problem for UNLV. One of the guards in foul trouble. Vice off the bench now.
Yeah, that's one area that potentially you can get at with UNLV, and a lot of teams try to exploit that, is get the guards in foul trouble or put defensive pressure and limit their ability to shoot it.
Oh, great bounce pass. Anthony unselfishly, he's only 10 feet away from the basket, goes to Ackles. I guess you could call that a high percentage shot. Foul underneath.
It's a great comparison for the folks at home to watch tonight. The 2 point guards going at it. Anthony, the senior, experienced, an outstanding point guard, and the young player McDonald, the JC transfer on Irvine. And the different ways that they play, how Anthony plays under control. McDonald is forced to do things that he doesn't normally do because he senses the defensive pressure.
Last foul on Travis Bice. Rigdon lowered his shoulder and got away with it. As was trying to pick up the offensive foul.
Got Augman open.
And Augman has Larry Johnson. That is no man's land for UC Irvine. Larry Johnson 2 feet away from the basket. 18-point lead for the Running Rebels. They're trying to put it away early in the second half.
Shoot it, Jeff.
Listen.
It's all right. He's got to put that shot up in the air.
Rigdon with a foul. Trying to take it away from Anderson Hunt. So now Hunt takes up the point guard duties. Or rather, I'm sorry, Greg Anthony. Staying with the ball. Looking for Travis Bice on that break.
Hunt sees the floor so well, spreads it out. And Rigdon trying to make a good effort at stealing it away. Trying to catch Anthony looking, but not successful.
Banks back into the game. After Rigdon had picked up the foul. And on Dylan Rigdon. That's his first. Larry Johnson with ideas. You know, it's a scary thought. As good as this team is, they look great. Bice trying to hit his first three-pointer. It's been long 4 times now. Scary thought. The UNLV Running Rebels with Sean Tarver and Ed O'Bannon. Oh, my. That's a scary thought.
Can you imagine? And then having Spencer and Love coming in as they have off the bench.
No depth at all. Oh. Larry Johnson, after losing it, gets it back. It's the largest lead of the game for the Running Rebels at 20.
Not a whole lot of movement going on right now by Irvine. There's a
Von Luzzo. And he's fouled from behind. Looks like Johnson got a lot of ball. He picks up the foul. His second.
Look at Larry. Really fine young man. Really enjoys the game. Has a great time with his teammates and the referees. He's always going back and forth to him. Look at him. He's still talking to the refs. Still having a good time. This young man at the free throw line now, Von Luzzo. Talented basketball player. You can see he's thin up on top, but the thing about Von Luzzo is
problem myself.
Oh yeah, you got a real problem. The thing about this young man is, as capable as he is, he's been inconsistent at times. He just needs the experience and needs some maturity to gain some confidence. He has a tendency at times to lose his confidence easily. The more confidence he gains with play, with hitting his shots, the better he'll be. He's a gifted basketball player. You know, last year, Joel, he dunked, believe this or not, he dunked over Larry Johnson 3 times in one game. Milligan said, "What's the matter? Don't you know who Larry Johnson is?" He said, "No, not really."
Well, right now, Larry Johnson with the Rebels, leaded by 18.
Because after working out, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Talking about Coors Light, it's the right beer now. Pour it on and work it out.
Findlay Daihatsu's inventory reduction sale. Over $2.8 million in merchandise must be rolled out now. Findlay's must sell 20 Daihatsu Rockies Motor Trends 4x4 of the year with discounts to $3,500 and rebates of $1,000. Prices start at $99.75 on Daihatsu's Rocky. The 3-door Charade gets 47 mpg. Starts at $79.90 with air and AM/FM cassette. Only $169 a month for qualified buyers. Check out the used cars too. Findlay's inventory reduction sale now, 3112 East Fremont.
It's got to be a helpless feeling, that huddle. You can talk all you want, but if you can't execute, most teams can't against UNLV. There's not much a coach can do. Right now, Billy Mulligan's team is down by 18 to Jerry Tarkanian and the Running Rebels of UNLV, who have owned the games the first 2 minutes. First 2 minutes, well, it was an 8-4 lead for UC Irvine. And the fans had something to cheer about. It's been a lonely night, though, for the Irvine fans. Jerry Tarkanian, he's all alone now on the bench, but plenty of friends. And they're in red jerseys. 57 to 56% so far this half. Bice. 3 for 3.
He measured that when he's getting a little bit tight out there. He just has to relax and shoot the ball.
He is now 0 for 5 in three-point range. Augman slapped away by Von Luzzo. Picks up the foul. But a nice move by Stacey Augman to get into the middle of the paint. So many options once he gets there. That's the first foul on Von Lutzel, member of the Big West All-Freshman team last season.
Augman just gives you so much, as you mentioned, Joel, with the options. I mean, that's a perfect term for him. Just from the outside, he can hurt you, and he has such a quick first step where he explodes the basket with that driving, slashing style of his.
Oh, we saw how long his stride could be this past Saturday night at Fresno State. Down on the ground, stretched out, and hit it, what, about 4 to 5 feet away, maybe 6 feet away from the basket. Banked it in nicely.
On his knee.
Just a game of horse in Fresno. A 20-point lead for Augman, the Rebels. They're fun to watch. Obviously not for the Anteaters, but for those of us in a broadcast position across the way.
But you know, for coaches too, I mean, talking to Bill Mulligan, he said, you know, there's no real pressure on us to win this basketball game. I mean, we're playing the best team in the country. The pressure is not to get destroyed out here, not to get blown out by such a margin that you're embarrassed.
Now Butler misses that as they go for the lob. Larry Johnson doesn't finish it, but gets it back. And he's fouled on the play, but the last play, Ackles, Butler misses a little jump hook. Ackles never left the ground. But because of his presence and all the blocks he's got, Butler didn't come close on the little jump hook.
He certainly felt it that time. And he's been head faking all night long inside as well. As they tried to go alley-oop up top to Johnson at time, he just stays with it. 3 guys, goes around and draws the foul from 41, Von Lutzel.
Johnson has really improved his free throw shooting. Started out slowly this year.
One of the criticisms they had about him this year was the fact that he has a little hitch in it now, where he goes up to the top instead of continuing his motion. He'll pause before he releases. He goes up, stops, and then releases. And that little hitch seems to interrupt his flow, though they'll tell you, and he will tell you it doesn't. One of the options from that, though, is it gets the team, the opposing team, to fall into the key.
I don't know why, but his style, he's so smooth and fluid with whatever he does. Larry Johnson reminds me of George McGinnis.
Yes.
I mean, there seems to be more muscle definition to Larry Johnson, but everything seems so effortless. It's the way George McGinnis reminded me when he played.
Exactly.
Very easy all the time. Von Lutzel can't convert. Who else but Johnson with the rebound? Nice. Remember Anderson Hunt on the bench. Johnson fingertip roll. It's out of hand. And it's all but over.
Irvine standing around right now as well defensively that time. I mean, Johnson, nothing fancy, just cut inside of the middle, was open and took it right up easily.
Banks. Butler knocking it away. Bice looking for the break to Anthony. 1-on-3, he doesn't care. And it was touched. As the slam goes for Augman. It looked like Herman got a piece of it after it hit the glass from this angle.
Yeah, they're out of control. Irvine is right now.
So that average margin of victory at 31 points. The kick, they'll reset the 45-second shot clock, but that average margin of victory seems like the number they'll be looking for this evening. 31 a game.
Well, Bill Mulligan was saying, you know, the only games we have really played well this season has been Fresno and it's been Cal. We shot the lights out against Fresno, 57% from three-point land.
Blew out the Bulldogs.
Okay, they blew them out, and then they beat Cal in a game we did here on Sports Channel earlier this year, shooting 54% from the floor. So for them to be effective, they really have to shoot the ball well, and that also means second attempts on the boards, of which they've missed some shots. Tonight they haven't had very many second attempts.
Ball knocked away from George Ackles by Ricky Butler. But it is a 26-point lead for the running Rebels. Herdman. Ooh. That's the way it's been going basically in the second half for the Anteaters. Anteaters with only 7 points so far in the second half for the first 6+ minutes. And this for a team that averages 90 a game.
But they're just out of sync offensively, and that has been, of course, created by the defense that UNLV gives. Last 4 times down court, 4 out, way outside long perimeter shots for UC Irvine.
There's very little rhythm, very little offensive continuity to this contest. I think both teams will tell you that. A real ragged style. UNLV, though, has given us what semblance there has been to any offensive rhythm as Larry Johnson puts it back. He should make his average if it continues at this pace. He's got 21 now. He averages 23 a game to lead all Big West scorers.
And he averages that in only 30 minutes of action. So you can imagine if he played over the course of a 40-minute game. Marshall's not a threat from down there. There's the man who can shoot it.
Herdman, finally, the Anteaters get one. It's inside the three-point line for 2.
After Herdman made the shot, he turns around and shakes his head and runs down court. He realized how hard you have to work just to get the shot opportunity.
Nice pass. Johnson to the weak side lob to Augman, who didn't convert. But a good look anyway.
That's a tough shot.
McDonald made it look even tougher.
Both teams looking tired right now. I mean, Irvine in particular looked gassed out there.
Everett Gray. I think Jerry Tarkanian heard you. Getting one of his players off the bench. Couple now. Elmore Spencer ready to come in. Ackles. Nice floater.
Yeah, now he wants to play. He doesn't want Spencer coming in playing behind him. He wants to get as much action as he can and play as well as he can. Irvine just trying to get into that passing game, trying to create some opportunities.
Why do I get the feeling with 11 minutes left is there's a travel? Why do I get the feeling with 11 minutes and 46 seconds left? It's already garbage time. We'll be right back to the campus of UC Irvine. A dismal night for those Anteaters on their home floor.
Because Southwest Airlines has more flights a day than other airlines, if you miss one, you can probably catch the next one. Or the next one. Or the next one. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. Because most of Southwest Airlines flights are short, we serve snacks. Which saves you money because you don't pay for an airline meal. Or anything associated with an airline meal. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. With 3 new menus, it's 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, and everything I like is just $59, $79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme, $59, $79.99. Run for the bullet of the winner, Spencer. $59, $79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59, $79.99.
Welcome back once again to UC Irvine, the home of the Anteaters. We're coming your way on Sports Channel, Southern California tonight. Our thoughts, our prayers, far, far away, though, from Southern California. And our thoughts and our prayers with those that are protecting us right now, serving us in the Gulf, serving our interests. UNLV with the ball, a 28-point lead. And this one probably can't end soon enough for the Anteaters and a lot of others we can't mention right now.
You know what's interesting right now is that there's still a lot of starters in here for UNLV. I mean, Johnson's in there. Why would you have a guy like that who's dominating the ball game as it is anyway? Why would you risk the possibility of an injury to your All-American with 11 minutes to go? Now, that's the way Tarkanian coaches. He wants these players to play hard the entire time they're in there. There's no loafing. And if you loaf, you're going to sit on the bench.
So it'll be a new team record tonight for UNLV. They'll win their 17th straight road game. It'll be the 23rd straight victory for the team with the nation's longest winning streak. Deflection, a block for Spencer. It's out of bounds on the baseline as he got the shot by Marshall.
You know, Joe, you mentioned the games in a row. The last time they lost was at Santa Barbara towards the end of the season last year. And they've got Santa Barbara coming up on Monday night at Santa Barbara again. So that could be an interesting matchup. Though Santa Barbara is not quite the team they were a season ago. They had Carrick DeHart and Eric MacArthur, 2 great players. But they're a team that can be very tough at home. Jerry Pim's a fine coach.
Everett Gray on the miss. There's a young man who's got an opportunity to start next year for this team. There's a 3-pointer on top for Herdman straight away.
You got to like Herdman's release. I mean, it's so smooth and effortless.
So late, though. Too late for the Anteaters. Anthony.
Oh, just good inside out.
Johnson with one arm holding Herdman off.
And holding 2 people off at the same time for that matter. But I like Spencer's look inside that time. We talk about a guy who's loafing. Forget about it with this guy. Constantly active, inside, outside game there with Hunt going back, and then he kicks it back out. Watch how go baseline.
Now watch the left arm.
Yeah. Back off, Hergen. There it is. Woo. He had Irvine and Swanek 33 at the same time.
Now he pulls that on you and I in the pickup game. It's a bruise for 2 weeks. Just that little left arm.
You know, it's hard to believe that this young guy was a boxer as a young man. I mean, you look at him, he's smiling all the time. He smiles at the TV people. He's just an easy guy to get along with. You can't understand how he would be a boxer, except when you look at his build.
Yeah,
he is.
And he looks like a statue without his jersey on. He is well built.
That's why the NBA scouts just drool over that young man.
I love the comments by Don Nelson, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, about Shaquille O'Neal. They said, have you seen him play? Nelson said, I'm in love with him. I can't take my eyes off him. Anderson Hunt off the bench. And a couple of more on the dunk. They feel the same way about Larry Johnson. He will be an impact player, lottery pick, if not the #1 pick.
Well, I think he was going to be #1 pick last year ahead of Derek Coleman. He had chosen to come out.
Don May with the layup. Anthony on the drive. Nice penetration move. Another takeaway.
Oh, they got him on an over and back.
And over and back, yes.
Look at Jerry. Give me a break, you say. Come on, Jerry. You've had breaks all night long. Your team's playing exceptionally well.
It is a 31-point lead for UNLV. Not many have left. That's one of the more surprising aspects of the contest.
Well, they're entertaining to watch. I mean, people love to watch them play because they play so hard the whole game. And you never know what you're going to see in way of a spectacular play because they have the ability to do that.
And air ball. And the ball back to the running Rebels. Ogman coming back in. He will take over for Larry Johnson. Maybe through for the night. You can't tell, though, with Tarkville.
Yeah, like I said, he'll bring him in at any time. But I think it's time for Larry to have himself a rest. He earned it, particularly the last few minutes when he was really working hard inside. Anderson
Hunt short on his attempt. So the Running Rebels owning the Big West Conference all year long. 12-0 overall, 6-0 with the win tonight in Big West play. Swanwick batted away. That was Everett Gray who got his hand on the ball.
And UNLV's off and running. And they decide to pull it out because the numbers aren't there. It's just like their practice right now.
Nobody's got Ogman underneath. And it took too long to get him the ball. He was there for 5-6 seconds asking for it.
And he's looking at Hunt saying, didn't you see me?
Well, you know, the problem may have been he was hiding behind Elmore Spencer. There's a violation, a turnover. Johnson, 25 points, should be through for the night, 16 rebounds.
This is a regular night at the office for Larry. 35 is his high this year against Michigan State.
Leads the Big West with 23 a game. Also leads the Big West in rebounding, 11 rebounds a game. He'll increase on both those averages. We're going to get a total on block shots before the night is over, though, because that has been a phenomenal stat tonight for UNLV. They had 9 alone in the first half, and then they had 3 very quick ones over the first 2-3 minutes of the second half.
You're just so tough inside. You get intimidated when you go inside and you get those couple shots blocked. You suddenly get a little passive. You don't want to take it inside.
Like that last play by Marshall. Couldn't convert on an easy layup. There's got to be in the back of his mind, who's there trying to swat it away from me. So another miss and more frustration for Billy Mulligan, the head coach of the Anteaters of UC Irvine. 7:55 left, and another runaway for UNLV.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Wilden. At Wilden's Pride Dodge, we're slashing prices during our 3rd anniversary sale. Select this 1991 Shadow America, the lowest priced American car, for just $74.98. The sporty 91 Spirit for only $96.50, or truly one of America's most luxurious cars, the 91 Dodge Dynasty, for $11,788. All are equipped with driver's airbags. Come see us at Wilden's Pride Dodge. You'll be glad you did.
Pride Dodge. Pride Dodge.
This is where where the legend began, in places like Arapahoe Basin and Crested Butte, when people came for the good times and discovered the beer, brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water for a fresher, smoother, more naturally refreshing taste. Today, the beer people used to travel miles to find is available almost everywhere, but it's still got that great fresh from the Rockies taste. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
A 31-point lead for UNLV. That is their average margin of victory this year. They have dominated the Anteaters of UC Irvine, especially inside. Don't forget, Mario and I will be at the Thomas & Mack Center on Saturday night. Long Beach State's 49ers. Head coach Seth Greenberg taking on the Running Rebels of UNLV. Saturday night right here on Sports Channel, 8 Pacific and 11 Eastern. It's always such a great show when you go into that building.
Oh, I asked Seth Greenberg about that. I said, hey, what about the light show early in the ball game? I said, you know anything about it? He says, no, that's part of college ball. I love it. He said, the only thing I hate about it is I'm afraid the fireworks going to land on my head. Seth Greenberg is a little bit light in the hair up on top, let me tell you.
Spencer with the dynamite pass. Greg Anthony, the cutter. They're an unselfish group. They never stop looking for each other, regardless of the score and how much is left in the game.
Look at how hard Augman's working inside right now.
Herdman on the miss. Anthony on the weak side. Turning it into a strong side situation. Gray. He's got a chance to be a starter next year. He's a good athlete. He's a good leaper. He can handle the ball. Comes off the bench and usually gets points in a hurry.
And he does. And that's the key thing is he is able to get points in a hurry. That's the key aspect of being a good player off the bench.
Boy, can you imagine? Tip of the hat to as Spencer gets in underneath. Foul on Marshall. But a tip of the hat to Bobby Deibler, John DeBrow, and Rich Coleman, the three officials from the Big West Conference working tonight's game. Can you imagine if they blew the whistle a lot tonight? Fortunately, they have really let them play.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And a lot of refs sometimes get a little carried away with that part of the game. But they
especially when it's not a game any longer. But they have let these two teams play.
There's my man,
Melvin Love. His first appearance. He was just activated. He's just become eligible for the Running Rebels of UNLV. 6'9", 250 pounds.
I mean, that is a big, solid man inside.
Yeah, we saw him Fresno on Saturday night. Took some grief from his teammates after he sent up that air ball to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's going to hear that one for quite a while, I'll tell you. But they're looking to him to improve over the course of the season. Not really expecting a lot out of him so far this year. Just becoming eligible 2 games ago.
It is up to 34 and counting. They average 102 points a game, almost 103. Spencer's looking for the break. They've got it with Everett Gray there.
Exclamation point on that one by Everett Gray.
Reminds me of my vertical leap. 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Anteaters will drop to 7 and 11. Numbers only work if you're from Las Vegas.
You know, Irvine's got a tough schedule now. Not only did they get UNLV here tonight, but they've got Santa Barbara coming up Saturday night.
Tough.
That's a tough situation for them. And then they've got 21st ranked New Mexico State, who really struggled Monday night against Fresno State before they came away with the win up in Fresno.
And let's remind everybody that game for the Anteaters on Saturday night is at Santa Barbara, where Jerry Pym doesn't lose all that often.
And yet last year, when Irvine hadn't won a conference game all year, that's where they got their win. Rigdon had a big night that night. I'll let you in a little secret, though. Big shot by Herdman that time, and he draws the foul as well as hitting the shot.
4-point play possibility.
Oh, yeah. Haven't seen that one this year.
They need a dozen more of those.
Finished the point on Rigdon. He had a big night at Santa Barbara. Sparked the victory. His girlfriend goes to school at Santa Barbara. She's the granddaughter of John Wayne. And Billy Mulligan was really worried before the game because every time we get up that way, I'm always worried about how Rigdon's going to react. Well, you better hope that Rigdon reacts as well Saturday night at Santa Barbara as he did last year.
Both teams 13 of 14 at the free throw line. And a 4-point play for Jeff Herdman. David Rice off the bench coming into the game off that last whistle. Melvin Love fouled. Don Luzzo picking it up. Love to the line to shoot 2 under 6 minutes to play.
Like we said, with 5.5 minutes to play here now, a little little under 6, as you said, it gives the subs here a chance to see some action. Love, as that time indicated, they went inside to him. And David Rice. Don't be fooled by David Rice. He can put the 3 down from the outside.
The New Mexico State game for UNLV will be Saturday, February 16th. A game you can see right here on Sports Channel. I bring that up, and then there's one later on the 25th of February on a Monday night. I bring that up because that right now, Mario, those two look like the only challenges to a perfect Big West Conference season for UNLV. And then they've got that other road game, the one at Arkansas. On the miss of the free throw, Von Luzzo looks for the fast break. They've got the game at Arkansas, nationally televised game on Sunday, the 10th of February. H. Waldman almost picking up a foul.
And that Arkansas game is going to be a great one with Day and Mayberry. And playing at Arkansas, that's going to be a tough ball game. That'll be their supreme challenge. But again, as you mentioned, good drive by Waldman that time. New Mexico State and Neil McCarthy, they're a tough team. He's got a lot of JC players that are just starting to get themselves into the chemistry of how they're to play for McCarthy. Did the same thing last season. It's taken his team a little bit longer. As I said, they struggled against Fresno. Long Beach State gave him a good game a week ago.
Everett Gray can't convert. Continue.
That'll be a good matchup. Oh, I mean, it's an athletic show out here. One dunk after the other.
And the lead now at 37. They've got Spencer and Love on the floor at the same time. Just a little beef down on the baseline. And then you've got Ricky Butler shooting over him to convert. But they list Butler at 6'7".
Now you questioned that one right off the top tonight when you looked at me when he said he was 6'7".
And I'm 7'2".
Well, if you're 7'2", you know what I am.
You're my lead guard, buddy. Foul coming up on Spencer.
The thing about Butler for UCI, though, is that he, despite the fact that he's not a real tall player, he's got that big wide body, that big weight in there where he really can post up very, very well. We saw him against Brian Hendrick and Roy Fisher, two great players out of California, and really outplayed both of them. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, he outplayed Adam Keefe from Stanford, scored 27 points against Keefe, and we just saw recently the other night what Keefe and Stanford did to UCLA.
Keefe was probably the reason that they beat UCLA so handily for the second year in a row at Pauley Pavilion. Ricky Butler going to the free throw line, shooting the 1-and-1. A 35-point lead for UNLV. Young man coming in for the first time.
Wait to see Gabe Higa fired it up. Boy, he'll position himself on that baseline and he'll let it rip.
So Bill Mulligan giving some of his reserves an opportunity to get in the game late.
You know, Irvine has a situation that presents itself that's often difficult for them in recruiting. They're a UC school. Academics are very much a part of recruiting, and they have a difficult time being able to recruit a lot of players. But Billy Mulligan will tell you flat out, they have not been able to get blue chip type players the last couple of years that they've wanted to. They've got one perhaps coming in. Talk about a Love. LZ Love, 6'6" player out of Riverside. Good basketball player, three-man. He's going to be coming to Irvine next year. And Bill told me that they're going to begin to look once again in the Riverside area, the Inland Empire here in Southern California. A lot of families moving out that way. Riverside has had a lot of good high school players over the years come out of there.
Well, Riverside Community College has really helped out UNLV. Everett Gray coming out of Riverside Community College, a couple of others.
Well, you know, Joel, Riverside City College is where that man right there, Billy Mulligan, coached, and it's also where Jerry Tarkanian coached. And that's really where they got their JC game going. In fact, Mulligan sent Jerome Whitehead, there's a name out of the past, up to Al McGuire at Marquette back in the 70s. In fact, Mulligan told me, I never thought Whitehead would ever be much of anything. He said he wanted to play in 11 years in the NBA.
Bobby Joyce comes in for Elmore Spencer for the first time. So Elmore Spencer sitting down for the evening with 4 personal fouls and a total of 4 points. Don May can't convert after the miss. And Swanwick does get it. And he'll go to the line as he's fouled.
Fouled by big Bobby Joyce. Talk about a wide body. Joyce came to camp a little overweight this year and didn't really please Jerry Tarkanian too much.
No, the young man from Riverside Community College, Bobby Joyce, who picked up the foul.
So he spent the good part of the early season just trying to shed that weight.
Joyce with the break, the basket, and the foul.
That's a great pass to Joyce on the fly. Caught it, went up softly and gently. And that's the man we were talking about, Bobby Joyce, who's just been trying to get himself into shape. Waldman with a good look over the top. 1-2 motion up and in.
That's tough taking it on the run that way. So Bobby Joyce right off the bench, a basket, and an air ball.
Because he pulled a Melvin Love on that one.
Well, he's got to head over to the bench. That's sometimes difficult after an error ball at the free throw line.
Especially when that man's looking at you.
3:42 remaining. You're right back to UC Irvine. Irvine, Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini, the Anteaters, losing on their home floor. Higa looking for his first shot, his first points since coming off the bench a couple of minutes ago. Rigdon. And Everett Gray with the rebound.
Oh,
nice pass. H. Waldman doesn't convert. This could get ugly before it's over. A lot of reserves on the floor for both teams right now. Swanwick crashing after his own miss. And the foul coming up. Bobby Joyce swatting the ball away.
I like the effort by Swanwick, though. He's playing very, very hard here, and these minutes he's getting are real important to him. Did a good job that time off the break, took the shot, and then crashed the boards real hard.
So both teams doing a good job at the free throw line tonight. Probably one of the few positives you could find for UC Irvine.
Yeah, and that's an area they're really concerned about. That's the area that cost them against Long Beach State last week. They had a lead late in the game, and Butler missed some free throws, one-on-one situations. McDonald missed a critical one with 11 seconds left, and Long Beach was able to convert on their free throws to win the ball game.
Ball slapped away by Bobby Joyce. Anteaters and Mayo bring it to the baseline. 3 minutes remaining.
Even the reserves for UNLV just ball hawk. Played a tough pressure defense on the ball.
It goes back to the running Rebels. Your profit, as soon as you talk about it, they never stop. A lot of teams would be worried about reaching fouls. They're not worried about that at all.
I know I've said it before, but I recall last year in a game we did, a couple of players came in late in the game like this, and for UNLV really weren't playing very hard, and Tarkanian took him out of the game, sat him down, and chewed on him. If you're going to be on the floor for him, you're going to play, and you're going to play hard.
And they are chasing the ball as the foul is committed by Bobby Joyce. That'll be the third. He's working on better than average.
Well, he needs these minutes. He really does. As we said, he has struggled early in the year with the weight problem and all. He just needs some time. his confidence back, get some quickness back in his legs, particularly on the defensive side. They need Bobby Joyce this year.
Not exactly a strong suit. Bangs that one in off the heel. 31-point lead for UNLV. As they try to just get home without any injuries.
Swanek was a great high school player here in Orange County. In fact, Mulligan has been able to get good Orange County players. Rigdon for one, Swanek, highly regarded players out of this area. He's been able to keep right here at UC Irvine.
Melvin Love with a nice move, got his man into the air. Rigdon. Got a break through the foul.
Melvin Love's been playing better and better in the games that we've seen him. He's more fluid out there, a little more confident of what he can do. Good head fake. It's Swanek up there. A little spin roll there to finish it off for the big man.
UNLV, they almost had a block on that one. They've got 13 block shots in the game. That's 2 or 3 games for most teams.
Ooh. Every time the ball goes inside, they contest it.
Ackles at 6'9", Spencer at 7 feet even, Love at 6'9". Hoffman in there for so long at 6'8". Larry Johnson at 6'7". You tell me, Larry Johnson is listed at 6'7", and so is Ricky Butler. Who looks bigger to you?
The question is, who's wider? Johnson looks a little bit bigger, doesn't he?
In flats, not heels.
Yeah, he looks a little more like a legitimate 6'7". Yeah, pumps.
Melvin Love, you could tell he expected that pass from Bobby Joyce, and there was no real pace on the ball either.
You know what, Joe?
Ooh, that hurt from here. Glad it was a little bit low. May had a 3-pointer in the first half. Can't get that one. H. Waldo with the rebound.
And we talked about the shot blocking abilities that UNLV has. Saturday night will be a good matchup with Long Beach because Long Beach has some athletic big people inside. I mean, they've got a lot of depth, a lot of tall, big people in there. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to handle it with getting their shots off and not getting into foul trouble in particular.
In your estimation, how's the backcourt matchup?
No, that's the problem. You've got Lucius Harris, who's just an outstanding basketball player, having to play the point right now for Long Beach. So that takes away from his ability to freelance on the offensive end and to shoot. He's got to play the playmaking role. That does affect their team, and they have struggled offensively in their outside shooting. But I think what we're going to see, we might see some different defenses out of Seth Greenberg in that game on Saturday night, trying to perhaps force UNLV to shoot the ball from the outside and maybe put pressure on Anthony and on Hunt, which is what every team now has been trying to do, and yet they certainly are able to handle it.
A little bit better than a minute left. Got Love into the air. Good move.
Yeah, it is a good move. Swanek's doing a fine job out there tonight. Melvin not too pleased with that one, but he definitely went for the fake, got himself in the air.
And while we've got the chance with 66 seconds left, in overtime, Fresno State winning at San Jose State by 2.
San Jose's playing much better. They beat Cal State Fullerton the other night.
And Utah State at home in Logan. Won by 10 over Pacific.
They're tough at home. And Jay Goodman is an outstanding shooter. The Iowa State transfer for Utah State. We're going to see them next week.
Not in Logan, though.
You don't want to go to Logan this time of the year, huh?
I'm ready. I want to be at the Spectrum. Little touch pass. Nice. Bobby Joyce and David Rice with the basket. His first point. So just about everybody on the board now. I think H. Waldman may be the exception. We'll check. H. Waldman coming under the break with David Rice. The lob for Everett Gray is a perfect one.
I mean, you got your reserve David Rice throwing a perfect alley-oop pass to Gray.
Jerry Tarkadian's laughing. He loves it because they execute. There's that care out there from the reserves as the foul is committed. And it'll be Kerry Johnson going to the free throw line. A redshirt freshman from El Toro, California that just came in.
Here's Waldman this time looking inside. A little touch pass. Great little move in there by Joyce. And David Rice buries that shot from the outside. And as we talked about, in fact, he just walked by us here on the sideline. A great alley-oop. Yeah, Dave, that was a perfect pass, let me tell you. It was right there.
Tough-looking free throw from this angle. Some lighter moments in the waning seconds. Melvin Lowe. The starters on the bench right now are having more fun than the reserves on the floor, and that finally, mercifully, brings us to the conclusion of the contest. We'll be right back to wrap things up on the campus of UC Irvine, where the Anteaters are dropped in a big way by the running Rebels of UNLV.
Because Southwest Airlines has so many daily flights, this is the kind of sophisticated equipment that helps keep us on schedule. So is this. Southwest Airlines will save you time and money. At Southwest Airlines, we have the newest pure jet fleet in the airline industry. In fact, our fleet of Boeing 737s averages just 6 years of age, just like some of our favorite customers. Southwest Airlines, the youngest fleet in the air.
Copy 14, Militia Valley Hospital, conference clear at 16.
They're stable. Hypertension. Stand by. X-ray here.
So when do you guys drive me over to Valley Hospital?
Test tube pressure.
Real good.
I call X-ray. I don't feel well.
Okay, get the blood pressure. His temperature is really high.
Good.
Healthcare this good is easy to find at Valley Hospital.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. With 3 new menus, are 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, and I everything I like it. Just $59, $79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme. $59, $79.99. Run for the bullet of the winter fencer. $59, $79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better. $59, $79.99.
If you wonder why you see so many of these, so does Findlay's competition. Here are some of the reasons. #1 volume automobile dealer in Nevada, Findlay's. Rebate leader of Las Vegas, Findlay's. Highest rated values and best quality used cars in town, Findlay's. Serving Las Vegas since 1961, almost 30 years. No high pressure sales tactics. Best prices for the finest quality automobiles available, the new generation Oldsmobile. Just a few of the reasons why you see the Findlay license plates all around town. But the main reason is, at Findlay Oldsmobile, the customer is #1.
The nation's longest winning streak is at 23 and counting now as the #1 team of the nation, the Running Rebels of UNLV. Win it by 41 tonight to raise their record to 12-0 this season, 6-0 in Big West play. Joel Myers along with Mario Palladini. You wonder, it almost looked like a UNLV scrimmage at times out there tonight. You wonder if anyone in this conference is going to really give a test to this team. They are that impressive.
Santa Barbara's coming up on the road. UNLV, that'll be a test. New Mexico State, Long Beach on Saturday night. They can get their guard play together. They may be able to pull something exciting for us.
I'm glad he's positive about this. We're taking that approach the rest of the way right here on Sports Channel. So once again, an easy win for UNLV. They only trailed once, and that was very, very early over the first 90 seconds of the game. And that final score again, UNLV 117. And the Anteaters of UC Irvine 76. Don't forget our next Big West telecast. Tough one for Seth Greenberg and the 49ers of Long Beach State. They will take on the Running Rebels on Saturday night. We will be there at the Thomas and Mack Center. Hopefully you'll be able to join us right here on Sports Channel Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 back east. So the Running Rebels get another big night from Larry Johnson, the leading scorer and the leading rebounder in the Big West. Larry Johnson came into the game averaging 23, 11 rebounds a contest. He departed very early with about 9 minutes left, a total of 25 and 15 rebounds. He dominated inside. George Ackles put together maybe one of his best performances defensively all year long, swatting balls away almost as if he was a volleyball player up on the net blocking things. He had that many block shots, 13 blocks overall for UNLV. A complete performance once again by a very well-coached team, Jerry Tarkanian's. For producer Michael Ireland and our director Mark Goldsmith, this is Joel Myers along with Mario Balladini. Thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you once again on Saturday night in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center. Have a good night, everybody.